So this video is going to show you how to get better clients. It's going to show you how to find perfect clients. And like a perfect client is someone that pays you on time, they tip you, they give you reviews, testimonials, they give you everything you need, they're nice, they're friendly, they're good people, and they're a pleasure to work with. I figured this out, I figured out ages ago how to actually get perfect clients and always attract the right sort of clients. And I'm going to share this little strategy with you today, and it's really cool. It's worked really well for me. My name is Charlie Morgan. I've built and scaled 2 companies, a marketing agency to 7 figures that I've now sold, and a coaching business to multi-7 figures that I still run. Currently, I help agency owners, coaches and consultants scale from 6 to multi-6 or 7 figures, and we only work with people who are established and already doing 6 figures. So if you're watching this video and you're a beginner, then these videos are designed to help you get to 10k a month or 20k a month with an agency or a coaching business. And once you're there, you can click the first link in the description to book a call with our team to see how we can help you grow even more. But this is for you if you're a beginner, or if you're an existing agency owner and you just you're doing well and you just want to do better. So let me draw a line here, right? So I'm going to sort of explain this. So how to get good clients, get perfect clients, get clients that pay you on time, that are nice to you, that communicate nicely with you. The secret is to realize that there's a strong mirror effect here. So this is you, right? And this is you as a human. And as a human, you have outputs of behavior, right? And those outputs of behavior can consist in millions of forms. It can be everything from whether you eat with the your fork in the right or the left hand, all the way down to how you treat people. Now, I want you to know that how you treat vendors and how you treat people who you work with or who you pay will be how your clients treat you. And if you don't believe me, just try it, right? It sounds a bit weird. It sounds a bit hippie, and you might be like, there's no way that's how it works. But I honestly can tell you that if you're not a good client, you won't attract good clients. So this is really ironic because sometimes with my coaching business, we extend payment plans to people where we say, yeah, we trust you to pay us over a long period of time so that you can come on board. And sometimes people will cancel their payments or be like, no, I'm not paying it anymore because I don't want to do it. And almost always, I find that those people have a really hard time getting people to pay them consistently. So this happened with someone who came on board to the program and they paid the first installment, and then they made up all these excuses and they were like, oh no, I can't do it anymore. No, and we were like, why? And they were like, well, I just can't do it. And then a couple of weeks later, I got a message from them saying oh, I'm really having a hard time getting people to pay me. And I was like, well, no shit, right? You attract who you are into your life. And it's a weird sort of energy, spiritual thing. But what we can observe is basically, if we draw this person here, this is very, just to pretend this person's strangely tall, but this person over here is the client you can attract. Now, if you are a happy person and you treat vendors well, then you will attract clients that treat you well. Because human behavior works on this sort of weird mirror premise. Now, an example of this is testimonials. So a lot of people are afraid to give people, to ask for testimonials. A lot of people are oh, what do I say if I want a testimonial? I don't know if I should be asking this person for a testimonial because I feel a little bit uncomfortable. And the reason for that behavior is because I don't know why they do it, why they would not ask, but the main reason is because they would never give anyone a testimonial. So I know if I ask someone for a testimonial and they're no, I'm not really comfortable doing that, then I know that person will have extremely difficult times asking their clients for testimonials. Or if I'm struggling to get someone to pay us and they're taking ages to pay an invoice and they're taking ages and being a pain in the arse, then I know that person will have an absolute hell of a time getting other people to pay them, if that makes sense. So I want to give you an example of this. So this is our Trustpilot, right? So this is Imperium Agency's Trustpilot. And we are blessed with some really good clients and they're amazing and we love them to bits and pieces. We've got 68 reviews. One of them's a 1-star review. The guy didn't like our sales process or something. But we've got 67 5-star reviews from clients. And we don't have any problem acquiring testimonials, acquiring video testimonials, acquiring client interviews. There doesn't seem to be any issue or resistance. Now, part of that is having a good product. But I actively, in my life, go out of my way to do things like this. So I've actually got up here just 3 example emails from recent days where I've actually emailed vendors that I pay to see if I can give them a testimonial. So here's an example. So this is Emerald. She's someone that I'm learning a lot from to do with psychology, and she's a psychology coach. And I've been paying her to do sessions. And I'm always really grateful and telling her I feel I'm making all this good progress because I'm basically treating vendors who I pay how I would want to be treated by people that are paying me, right? And this always comes back in full circle. And then I always if if I'm working with someone and like I'm paying them money and they're actually delivering and giving me what I wanted, then I'll say like, is there any way I can leave you some sort of testimonial video to support you in your business efforts? Right? That's one example. So like most people have to ask their clients for testimonials, but like you want to be in a position where you're asking your vendors if you can give them testimonials, right? So that when you go to ask like a client for a testimonial, because the mirror judgment of your behavior, it won't be contradictory. So like, because you're so comfortable that you want to give people testimonials, you want to testify that they're amazing. So when you ask for someone to do it for you, your energy and the way that you approach that will be so positive because you know that you do it for other people and you're happy doing it. So you'll just assume other people are happy. So like another example of this is on sales calls. Like if you're someone that always wants to think about it and then you try and close someone, people are going to want to think about it because it's impossible for you to overcome the think about it objection when you're always going to be thinking about it, because the human mind and the human condition does not allow, what would we call it? What's the word? Begins with a C. Like contradiction to a degree. What is it? It's cognitive dissonance, right? It's impossible to behave in a way that like, or try to solidify a belief when it's out of alignment with something you already believe to be true. So like, you know, if you are someone that always says maybe, you're always like, yeah, let me think it through, then, well, what do you think is going to happen when someone objects and says, I want to think it through on a sales call? Because you always want to think it through, you're going to let them and never try to handle the objection because, well, you wouldn't behave in a different way to what you'd behave like, if that makes sense. Or you wouldn't ask someone to behave in a way that isn't in alignment with your behavior. It'd be contradictory. Another example is this. So this is my accountant, Karen, and like, I always just like try to do this wherever I can. So Karen, I've been working with my accountant for like, I don't know, like 3 years. And then I was like, this was in 2021. I was like, by the way, do you accept video testimonials? I'd love to record a quick video to explain my happy experience working with you if you have a site on testimonials or anything. And then she responded like, you've made my day, like, of course you can. And I made her a testimonial. And then like another example is this, right? This was my estate agent for one of the flats that I moved into. She was amazing. She did such a great job, and so did her colleagues. So I emailed her like, hey, Nicole, where's the best place to leave you, Jack, and Scott a glowing review? So I'm like whenever I hire someone or pay someone to work with me or provide a service, I will treat them like like I will pay on. So if someone sends me an invoice, I will pay it within 2 minutes. So if my accountant ever says, like, she's quite old school in the way she does invoices, like she'll send you an invoice and then you pay it. There's no sort of like Stripe or anything. So like if that ever happens, I will just be like, paid. And it, like, I will do it within a minute, because if I ever send someone an invoice, I want them to pay it immediately. And I can't expect them to do that if I'm not going to be doing that in my personal life, right? Another example would be like, you know, with the payments thing, like if you've got the option to pay it in full, because then when you're asking people to pay in full, they're going to be paying in full. So if you're someone who always asks for split payments, then you're always going to ask for split payments, if that makes sense. So it's really uncanny, like, you know, another example. So this is become a little bit about like me being good, but that's not the point. But like, once I booked a restaurant to go to on Valentine's Day with my ex-girlfriend, and on the night we decided not to go, and it was a small restaurant, locally owned, so they had like a minimal amount of tables, and they didn't do deposits or anything. So I called them up and said, hey, I can't make the booking tonight, and like, please let me pay for the table. And they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, let me pay for the table, because I know what it's like to have like, you know, I don't know what it's like, but I know what it's like to have a small business and have people waste your time. So I called them up and I literally paid them like £100, because it was £50 per person for the night for like the 3-course meal and the wine and stuff. And like the owner of the business was like, wow, no one's ever done that before. And I was like, well, I'm doing it because A, I want to do the right thing by you, but also like, if I was running a restaurant, that's how I'd want someone to treat me. So like the other thing is like, if I ever cancel an appointment, so let's say like with a therapist or something, if I can't make an appointment, I will still pay for the appointment. So like if I need to reschedule something with a therapist or with a personal trainer, I will still pay for that appointment. So I'm always offering, like, if I had a personal trainer and I missed the thing, I'd be like, hey, I'm still going to pay you the £50 for the hour because you could have had someone else take that slot. And what that means is it helps me make more money in the long term, because it gives me like what would you even call it? Like the personal permission to demand that people respect my time and pay me what they owe me and treat me in a good way. Because if you don't, it's like, you know, basically the whole point of this video is treat others as you want to be treated yourself. But I've honestly found the biggest hack for getting good clients that pay you on time, that give you testimonials, is to pay on time and give testimonials. Because like, and then it's also like feedback. So like sometimes like you'll find that like if you unsubscribe from someone's email list, right, they'll ask you like for feedback. So it's kind of like, oh, why are you unsubscribing? And then I'll actually go into the like other box and I'll type out like I'm unsubscribing because I don't like email lists and I find they distract me from my work. And I'm being honest with them, right? So that if I'm running an email list and I have someone wanting to tell me why they unsubscribe, then I can ask them like, please can you tell me why? And more people are going to do it. It's like, you might think it's like a weird cause and effect thing that doesn't work, but I promise this is kind of foolproof. Like how you are treated generally tends to be a mirror reflection of how you treat other people. Now, you don't want to take this too far because you don't want to become a pushover. You don't want to be going away and being like, oh, I'm going to overpay people and I'm going to give stuff away for free all the time because I want people to do that to me. Like, that's not the point. You don't want to take it so far that people take advantage of you. You still want to have respect for yourself and stuff. But basically, like, if you're working with vendors and like just treat them how you would want people to treat you as a vendor. So like, it also gives you like a low tolerance for bad clients. So if like, I will not like tolerate someone fucking us around with payments because I hold myself to such a high personal standard with making payments on time and stuff. So if someone's not paying me on time, I won't tolerate it. There'll be no bullshit. Whereas someone that like doesn't pay on time, if someone comes along to them and doesn't pay them on time, then they'll let that person push them around because that's what they do to other people. You see what I'm saying? So like, just be aware of this. Like, your outputs will be your client's inputs, basically. And there will be a strong mirror reflection between these two things. And I promise you, like, this little mirror thing here, like traversing this gap between your behavior and a client's behavior is weird. But it works. And like, it's kind of like on sales calls, for example, like, if you're afraid to ask difficult questions on a sales call, it's because like, if you're afraid to ask emotional questions on a sales call and you find that hard, it's because you would find it hard to answer that if someone asked you that question. So like, you might be like, well, John, like, tell me about like what your biggest problem is and like why that's a huge problem for you and like why that's having an impact on you personally. You might feel uncomfortable asking that. And it's because if someone asked you that question on a sales call, you'd be uncomfortable answering it. So your discomfort is actually your discomfort, not their discomfort. And it's all a projection and it's all a mirror. And this video should help you understand how to actually get better clients and stop like fucking around with these shitty clients that are awful. So like, the other thing, if you're looking for like a really cheap, like free solution that like you just want, like you want to give someone as little as possible and get as much as possible, then who do you think you're going to attract into your business? People just like that. So like, I find that honestly, this is the best thing I've ever done, is just cleaning up my personal life and just being a better person. Like I've given you some examples, but there's other things that you can do or I've done that would contribute to that. Like, it's just like being nice to people as well, like customer support and stuff. Like, if I go and call a customer support rep and they're like, oh, I'm sorry for the delay, I'm like, please don't worry yourself about it. I understand what it's like. And I empathize that it's a tricky time for you when you're really busy. And then like, if I'm going to support someone, then that's kind of how they're going to treat me, because how could it be any other way, right? Now, it's not always going to happen like 100% of the time, but it gives you this personal permission to behave in a way that demands the respect of the people you work with, and it will massively help you grow your business and make more money, and it also just makes you a better person, so I feel like it's a good thing to do. That's everything for today's video. I hope you found it useful. If you are an established agency owner, coach or consultant or info business owner making 6 figures a year or more, click the first link in the description to see how we can take you to 7 figures. You don't have to. I don't really care. Like, if you think it's a good fit, you can try it. But if you get to 6 figures, keep enjoying the videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day. Take care.